Have you ever made a change in your life that felt like you're walking straight off a cliff? Where you feel like you're free falling with no idea where you're gonna land? Often life is going to feel like there's a certain path you're supposed to follow, and straying from this path in pursuit of something risky or unconventional can feel like walking into a dark room full of knives. The fear of failure and judgment is resounding. Change like this make you feel vulnerable, insignificant. And at these moments you may find yourself reflecting on, why do you do this? What is it that drives you? And it's not always a comfortable area of reflection. As I sit and write this, I've just finished my first stream under this new name, and that sounds pretty insignificant. Turns out I just broke down sobbing uncontrollably on my couch for hours, so, at least it'll be memorable. I'd rather the wound than have you removed is the supposedly rhyming lyric that struck a chord with me. It's from the song My Love Is Sick by Mads Buckley, and in the song it refers to a lover, but for me, I'm hearing it in a very different context. I'm currently making the not very financially advisable decision of risking my livelihood in the belief that this channel can connect with people, that me being hopefully insightful, at times even maybe witty, but always ruthlessly open and honest about any topic I cover will ultimately give people something worth watching. I've never been able to accept a normal job. I've always been in some way striving for something more than what's seemingly on offer. The idea of the standard middle-class life complete with white picket fence, giant mortgage, company car and soul-crushing job has felt like a trap looming over me, ready to steal me away one day. And I can't help but see towering corporate buildings as giant rat cages with broadband. I'd almost say that the fantasy of what something could be often eclipses the reality of what I seem to be capable of. And the song talks about a wound. The part of me that refuses to let go of this idea that our normal life isn't good or exciting or interesting enough, for me, is my wound. Yet this doesn't fully explain my reaction. And the thought that made me start crying a little while ago was, maybe I can never be happy. Money won't make me happy. Notoriety won't make me happy. I feel like I let down the people around me, almost neglecting real life in favour of chasing this mystery grand achievement in my mind. It's painful because I feel like I'm pushing myself so hard to achieve something that isn't real. And meanwhile, all the fun of life is slipping past me. I think about my time and I feel guilty if I'm not grinding, pushing towards this goal, this unspecified, unobtainable goal. For whatever level of intelligence or compassion one may believe me to have, it has no purpose, no output, no role. Yet, somewhere, very deep down, I always have this determination, this kickback in the worst moments, this little fire buried somewhere that pushes me to keep going. Determination, arrogance, whatever the words, the result is clear. It's a sort of inner child that won't let go of certain beliefs. So I'm in a battle between trying to please the child and trying to be a realistic adult. I tried to abandon the child once to work in an investment bank and I had a nervous breakdown. Now I'm trying to indulge the child with this channel while the adult is terrified, sick. I'd rather the wound than have you removed feels like a message to that little boy who believes. I'm supposed to give up. I'm supposed to be able to take life for what it is. Go to a job, have a hobby, enjoy my time off, spend time with friends and family, a life. Yet this obsessive compulsion to achieve something with no idea what that something even is, it won't let me do that. And I feel physically ill when I try and push that aside. Planning towards a new thing always feels okay. The calm before the stigma, I suppose. Because once that thing starts, suddenly the outlook seems very different. It goes from, here's why this can work, to you have no idea what you are doing. I am terrified. I'm terrified of letting people down again. I'm terrified of not being funny or interesting or engaging enough to build something lasting. I'm terrified of failing in the most personal venture I've ever done. There's no mask this time, no real niche, nothing to hide behind. I'm completely exposed. The price of admission for doing something weird is self-doubt. Perhaps self-loathing, the feeling that you're inadequate, the feeling that you don't know enough, that you're not funny enough, that you're not good enough, the feeling that people are going to judge you when you fail, the feeling that they're laughing behind your back, the feeling that no one believes in you. That is all going to happen if you're really pushing the boat out. Because at the end of the day, it's no one else's job but yours to make it work. And they can all be allowed to stay on the safe ground, to stay far away from the cliff, feet on the ground, and judge everyone who tries to walk over that cliff edge. But in the grand scheme of things, the Those fears, those doubts, the snickers of the people behind you, all of them are going to be forgotten just as readily as any failure you have is. History's not going to be written about the person who tried something and it didn't work. In the long run, the freeing news is no one's really going to care. And even if they do, that's their own petty problem. You have to do something you consider meaningful. You have to use your time on this earth in a way that you consider a good use of your talents. It's not up to anyone else to decide what that is. It's not up to anyone else to decide what the parameters for success and failure are, because you're the one who has to look back at the end of your life and think if you spent it well. The name I Pick Me was an expression of this idea that I believe in myself, that I'm betting on myself. I didn't just bet on myself, I put the house on myself, and now I'm watching the roulette wheel spin with no earthly idea what's going to happen. YouTube has elements of skill, sure, but a lot of people pretty high up will still tell you there's quite an element of luck. And it's a bizarre sensation to feel at once that failure would be a damning statement about me as a person, yet feel almost powerless somehow to affect the result. But if I'm doomed to fail, at least I'm going to fail while I'm trying my guts out. The wounds won't let me lie down. It won't let me settle. It won't let me accept what feels like a defeat. I'm not getting another chance at life. Cliche all you want, but I'm not. The judgment I fear most of all isn't that of my friends or my loved ones. It's of that inner child. I could hide from others. I could hide in a safe job, a conventional progression in life. I can't hide from him. Yet, ultimately I wouldn't want to, because in my absolute worst moments, it's helped me get back up. That little fire inside has staved off some of the darkest shadows of my entire life. It's been there in a way I find very difficult to describe, but when I'm totally lost, it's still there, waiting to push me back up from rock bottom. The song is about something totally different, but it's become a twisted message of self-love to me. That this part of me seems at once both a blessing and a curse. This determined little boy who wouldn't settle for anything less. The kind of boy that would become a Pokemon champion as if it's normal. That little boy is always there. Always. Sometimes I wonder if really growing up means letting that inner child die. And I hope I never find out, because he's coming with me. No matter what happens, he's coming with me. So I'd rather the wound than have you removed. Seems pretty accurate in my case. Because I'll die trying to show that little boy he's right. I owe him everything.